Now, may I have the computer printout, please? Now we'll learn which of our 10 semi-finalists will move on to become our 5 finalists for the title of Miss Teen USA 1984. Now again, I will read the names in no particular order. Our 5 finalists are Miss Oregon, our second finalist, Miss Hawaii, our third young lady with a chance at the title is Miss Illinois. Our fourth is from our host state, Tennessee. And the fifth lady for a chance at Miss Teen USA is Miss Texas. There are the 5 finalists for the title of Miss Teen USA 1984.
What a thrill for those 5 lovely young women. And what a thrill for us to watch it happen for them. Now, the competition among our finalists once again begins with all previous scores discarded. Now, there they are. And there they go. Each of our 5 finalists has an equal chance of winning. And right now, Michael has a question for our finalists. Michael?
Certainly one of the prime assets a Miss Teen USA would need is poise. Another is intelligence. And now is the time for us to study those attributes in our 5 finalists. I'm going to ask each one of them the same question in turn. And while waiting to be called on, the other young ladies will wait in a booth that is soundproof where they will be able to see but not hear what's going on. Now, also joining us right now are 2 of the most envied young women in the world. California's Julie Hyack, who's Miss USA, and New Zealand's Lorraine Downs, Miss Universe. Now, Miss Oregon, will you step right over here next to me? And if the other 4 ladies would go off into our soundproof booth. Come right over here with me. And I'm going to ask you our question as soon as those ladies are inside the booth and the door is closed. Thank you, Lorraine. All right, Miss Oregon, Dina Woodard. As Miss Teen USA, you will have the opportunity to speak to many adult groups. What will you tell them about America's teenagers?
I would like to say that America's teenagers have a lot of ambitions, and I know a lot of teenagers have a lot of problems, and they need to talk things out, but most teenagers just have it all together.
Thank you, Miss Oregon. Dina Woodard. Next, we have Miss Hawaii. Melea Yamamura. Melea, please step right down here next to me. Now, our question is, as Miss Teen USA, you will have the opportunity to speak to many adult groups. What will you tell them about America's teenagers?
I think I tell them that teenagers really do appreciate everything that adults have done for them, and that we love them all, and overall we think that they're really nice people, even though sometimes we don't really show it.
Thank you, Miss Hawaii. Melea Yamamura. Next, we'll call on Miss Illinois. You'll come right down here and join me. Our question is, as Miss Teen USA, you will have the opportunity to speak to many adult groups. What will you tell them about America's teenagers?
Teenagers are people who are often misunderstood. Often adults think that teenagers do not understand them. We're in a generation gap, and that's not always true. I think many teenagers really do understand their parents and adults and love them.
Thank you, Cherise. Miss Illinois. Next, I'd like Miss Tennessee. You'd step right down here with me. Molly Brown. Now, Molly, your question is this. As Miss Teen USA, you will have the opportunity to speak to many adult groups. What will you tell them about America's teenagers?
Well, they're really not as bad as everyone thinks. A lot of parents get the wrong ideas about teenagers because of the drug situation and alcohol today, but some things that cause these problems are related with the parents. Some of the kids do not have anyone to turn to, and I feel if the parents and the teenagers could sit down together and talk things out and really develop a good communications together, it would help them tremendously.
Thank you. Miss Tennessee, Molly Brown. Next, Miss Texas. If you'd join me right down here. How are you, Charlene?
Fine, how are you?
Now, our question is, as Miss Teen USA, you will have the opportunity to speak to many adult groups. What will you tell them about America's teenagers?
I would tell them that teenagers today are very much like they were when they were children, and that the teenagers of today would like the respect of all the adults that are out there, and that most of the teenagers today do want to get their education and further their knowledge because they want to listen to the older people of today, because we know that you have obtained the knowledge that we don't know, and that we just love in each and every one of you that are out there today.
Thank you very much, Miss Texas. Charlene Molinar. Now, it won't be long before one of these ladies becomes the second Miss Teen USA.